I'll give you an example. When I do speaking events, very few people come up to me and go, oh, wow, can I record a video testimonial to share how much I enjoyed your event? That's almost doesn't happen ever. But my wife or the event planner or whoever's with them can say, hey folks, if anybody here from today's talk, we would love for you to come on up and share your feedback about today's talk. And for taking the time to do so, you can have one copy of Clay's book, as an example. And most people who like the event are like, sure. And they'll come up and they'll just say on camera what they feel. Cool. Sometimes they'll say, we've had people who say, I didn't really like it too much. But as a general rule, people who like it will share. But they have to have some kind of incentive. I mean, what would make an adult go on Yelp and write a review on Yelp about your company or on Google or Amazon? Do you ever go and write reviews on stuff?
I have, for things that really mattered to me.
And that's about all we do, right? I mean, for the stuff that really matters. And usually, unfortunately, this is how the human emotions work. People who are really, really mad, they tend to write a ton of reviews. Yeah. And people that are happy tend to write very few reviews. Very, very, very rarely do I go out to eat and go, God, today's food was so satisfactory. It met my expectations. This Jimmy John's Subway sandwich was exactly what I wanted. This Subway sandwich was exactly what I wanted. This Olive Garden was exactly the way I wanted it. So I'm going to go home and write a review. Most people don't do that. If you're wowed, you do though.
Right.
Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's like if you're wowed, you almost feel like you have to do something with it. And you want to share it with the world, like, oh my gosh, this food was amazing. Have you ever had just an amazing experience where you felt the need to write a review?
Yeah.
But if it's not amazing, you probably won't write a review unless you're upset. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So you really need to get that. And why is it so important you have reviews? I mean, if I Google you and you have a book that you've written and there's no reviews on it, I'm kind of like, I wonder who wrote this thing. Is this person credible? And if you have a strong enough of a Google trail, maybe that can overcome the lack of reviews. But this is all these points together is what makes this happen for you.
Very good.
Make sense?
Yes.
All right. So the next thing is social likes and shares. Are you a big social media person?
Medium.
Medium?
I would say. Yeah.
Okay. I am on the bias of not being on social media personally. I don't really understand it too much. I'm like, well, someday these kids are going to be done with the social media fad. No, it's going to keep going, right? But social media is a deal where you have got to get likes, you've got to get shares. I don't personally spend a lot of time dialoguing with people on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, but that's a cultural thing that, in my mind, is only going to increase.
Right.
And so you have to have a presence on those things. Do you have an account like for Twitter and YouTube?
Yes, I do, but I haven't maxed them out or used them very much.
All you're going to want to do, I would say at a minimum right now for what you're wanting to do, I would definitely recommend you get yourself a LinkedIn account if you don't already have one. Okay. I'd make sure you do Twitter. I'd make sure you do Facebook. And I would make sure that you're updating these a minimum of 1 time per day. And the reason why you do it is because you want people to see that you're actually relevant. So like every morning I would just maybe put an excerpt from your book or a thought about your new book or a new client you're working with, or always positive, always relevant to your brand. But don't let it go like, you ever seen a blog where someone hasn't updated in 9 months and you're like, is this even real?
Yeah.
You want it to feel fresh, okay? So you've got to make sure you do that. And your professional photography and videography needs to be celebrated on there and featured on there. The next thing is video testimonials. We need to have video testimonials. So in your case, we're going to need people who read your book. So if let's say the first book you finish, let's say you finished your book, do you feel like you and your husband could get maybe 10 people that you know to check out the book and read it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So what you're going to want to do is give them a copy of it.
Okay.
And then say, if it's okay, I'd love to film your review. I'd love to get your feedback on it.
Okay.
And you want to film the review. And again, why do you want to film the review and then put that on YouTube?
So when people Google the keywords, they're finding us.
That's right. So like you could put in Melissa Corson author reviews. You want to make it, again, this all goes back to the Google trail. When they find you, and I'm going to have the program observer right now, I'm going to have them go ahead and Google elephant in the room, Tulsa. That's one of my companies. And you'll see on there a Google Trail. And I encourage you to go look at it. Do this. Check it out. You'll see you'll see it. And you'll notice that like we have, I think, not that I check, but we have like, just 20 reviews, let's say.
Yeah.
And there's like 2 people who are just upset. They're just, I can't believe it. Things aren't the same since you guys grew. It used to be so intimate. Yeah. When like the company was like losing money every day, it was a great thing. And now that it's bigger, they're like, now you get different people cutting your hair all the time, and it's so 2 people, out of 20. Well, guess who's on top though? Those 2 people, because they just wrote one. So you gotta stay on top of that. Yeah. But then if you read it, you're gonna see like 14, 15 great reviews. You're gonna see media features. You're gonna see all these things we've done in the community. You're gonna see about the boys' home that we've sponsored. You're gonna see clients that are happy. And so there's far more of a positive Google Trail than negative, but I can't control the negative. I can only put an emphasis on the positive. Make sense?